All right, we're going to look at a play that was specifically requested from me by someone I very much respect. And I think it was a joke, but I'm going to do it anyway because I honor my request. So we're going to play it just to kind of set our bearings. This is going to be the play that Jordan Love kind of runs around on and then tries to hit Patrick Taylor in the corner of the end zone or the bite right of the sideline and just can't quite. Patrick Taylor can't haul it in. It looks like it's going to be a terrible play until it ends up being, well, a less than terrible play. It's third down. A touchdown would have been nice. But it looks for a second there like he's going to lose 10 or 15 yards. The way he's carrying that ball, maybe it gets fumbled. But we're going to talk about this play, why this ends up the way it does, what's going on. So here we go. Let's look at this. Beautiful throw. I mean, in a spot only Taylor has a shot at it. If a guy's maybe a little taller and an actual receiver, like maybe he catches that. You can't. I'm not really knocking Taylor for it. Anyway, all right. What are we looking at? So this play is going to be. Let me just set my bearings as far as who's doing what. All right, those are the crossers. Okay, so this is going to be mesh, which is one of my favorite concepts, and it's one that I've talked about. The Packers have not done super well with last year. And they didn't do well with it here, and there's a reason for that. So what's going to happen is mesh. At the heart of mesh is two crossers. Typically, you got, that's not what I want. I don't know why I'm specific about this, but I am. Usually you get two crossers. One goes over, one goes under. Pair that with a vertical route. This is going to be a corner from Amari Rodgers. You're going to have a kind of sit route over the top. Kind of sit among the confusion there, get that defense kind of spread out, and you operate underneath it there. And then you've got a rail route from the backfield. Packers got a pretty good. This was the Etling to Baylor, 68-yard gain, I think, the previous week. Same kind of thing. I love the rail route out of the backfield. You can do a lot of stuff with that, or it can be really dangerous if they're kind of leaning a certain way. But this is what it's going to be. This is how it's supposed to be. Over, under. You usually got a vertical route, a sit route, and then something from the backfield. Sometimes you have a swing to that side, so you get a high-low over there. You don't have that here. You get this rail route on the opposite side. Doesn't matter. What matters is that these are two guys. This is DeGuara, who is entering his third year. And then you've got Dobbs, who's obviously, a rookie, highly touted rookie at this point. They both think they're going over. Now, I don't know whose job this is to do this. I think typically the left goes over, if I'm not mistaken, is how the Packers typically run this. They'll run it different ways. But I think DeGuara thinks he's going over. But you need, you can't. I should not have to explain this, I guess, but I will. You can't run at each other on the same plane or you're going to hit each other. So one guy has to go over, one guy has to go under. Under the old BYU Lavelle system, they would run this. They would run this in practice, I think, at exactly 6 yards. And those guys would cross close enough to where they could high five. Packers don't do it that way. Typically, theirs are between 3 to 5 yards that they cross, and they usually don't cross They usually don't cross that tight, and I don't want to get into it right now. I guess it's not really worth it. But there's a reason for that, or at least there's a reason why they don't feel the need to cross that tight. So we'll see right here, and you can see both these guys. There we go. DeGuara thinks he's going over. See, Dobbs right there is kind of, at this point, he's looking and he sees, all right, now this is bad. I should not be doing this. So he kind of looks, he sees, he tries to alter his path and can't, and they end up smashing into each other. So what Love is doing, the way this is typically read, there they are right there. The way mesh is read, and we'll go back to beginning. And so this is then smashed. Oh no, the pocket's breaking down a little bit by that point. Anyway, he's got that guy kind of in the middle of the field in his vision. It's 99 there. Run around, throw it. All right. So the way this is generally read, we'll go back and draw this out, is you read vertical first. If the vertical's not there, you read the mesh. If the mesh isn't there, and this is where, the teaching points, it kind of depends. I think at this point, the Packers read this, and then you read the rail. And a lot of this, I say this, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 routes, but you're reading 4 because you've got the mesh in the middle. You're kind of reading it. I mean, really, this is kind of one big read here because you can kind of read all that stuff together. Doesn't matter. Either way, I don't know exactly how they teach it, and it could be, it changes depending on pre-snap defensive alignment and leverage and all of that stuff. A lot of times you don't even look at the vertical guy, but this is when, this is kind of in the air raid system, typically how it's taught. Progression 1, 2, air raid really teaches that as 3, and then that come back to that as 4. But so you're looking over here first, and I don't know that Love even looks over there at Amari Rodgers. They'll kind of run this. He does not. It doesn't matter. Because based on the pre-snap alignment, you kind of see how that's going to happen. He's going to run a quarter route, but he's bracketed. So that thing's gone, which means Love is likely just reading the mesh point, and then he's looking at the middle basically. He drops back, sees what the drops are. Do we have man or zone? Read that middle with the little sit over the top there. So he's looking at that, and if he liked the leverage there, he's probably going rail route first. So really, say full field read 5, 4 or 5 reads, he's really Xing out that, and it's really kind of one read for him in the middle of the field. He's reading the mesh with the sit over the top of it. It's kind of what he's looking at. And once that breaks down, once those guys run into each other, so he's set, he's kind of ready to throw, and I don't think there's no motion on this. So there's not really any tells beforehand, but the way these guys kind of set up, you can see it looks like they're gonna. You can't really tell. I think they're gonna do man, and so that's where one of the benefits of mesh is against man, because then you kind of knock these guys off. You're trying to knock one of these guys off in coverage, so they kind of get knocked off, but they get knocked off because the receivers knock themselves off. So he sets up, he's ready to throw. It does not end up happening, and then he kind of scrambles around for a little bit. So for the person who requested this, I hope you're happy that you made me look at a terrible rep of mesh. But I don't know, something interesting nonetheless.